So the first thing we have to do over here at our site is to connect our vector database. Because we've turned on Pinecone, well, it's here. This is, by the way, under Configuration, AI, and Vector Database Settings. I'm going to click on Pinecone Configuration. And once again, I've got to have a key. All right, let's go back to Pinecone for just a minute and get an API key. So here we are. Click on API keys, click Add, and we'll call this training again for myself. Click Create Key. And I'm going to copy that key. Go back over. And now, again, it's kind of a rigmarole here, right? There's lots of moving pieces here. We actually have to set up a key and connect it to Pinecone. So key is under Configuration, System, Keys, add a key, Pinecone, and paste your key value in. Click Save. Remember, you can always pause these videos if I'm going too quickly. Now we go back to Configuration, AI, Vector Database Settings, and Pinecone Configuration. And select our Pinecone key. Save. All right, so 1, set up something at Pinecone or any RAG database. 2, get an API key. 3, create the key. 4, go ahead and configure your vector database now. So, configuration, search and metadata, search API. Add a server. Again, I'm going to call this training, AI search, and I'm going to select the text embedding 3 large. I personally like GPT-4o for this, but depends on what your preference might be. And the vector database is going to be my Pinecone DB. And there we go. Now I have to select the database name. It went out to Pinecone. Now the namespace within the Pinecone index to store the data from. So the namespace here is actually the name of your Pinecone index. So in this case, training. So just put the word training in here. Come down, open up Advanced Embed Settings. If you did not set the number of dimensions to 3072 at Pinecone, you can update that here to match. And the rest of this, I actually don't touch. It's set up for me. I pretty much leave this the way it is. I'm going to click Save. So now I've got a database, but I need to still tell Drupal what to index. All right, click on Search API again and Add Index. This is what we want to index on our site. So I'm just going to call this again training for index purposes. And I want to do content. You can do all kinds of things here. Content blocks, depending on what you want to do, media, etc., taxonomy terms, and more. Down under here, which bundles do I want? Well, I'll leave them all languages. The default tracker is index item in the same order they are saved. That's fine. And I'm going to make sure I choose the right server. Don't miss this step. Choose the training server. And then come down to index options. You should be good to go. Now you need to save and add the fields. Down here under content, obviously the body field is going to be pretty important. And the title field. And click Done. Now, the next step then is to choose the option. We want to make the body the main content, and then the title contextual content. And click Save Changes. I'm going to click View, and you'll see that my site is now being indexed. All right, well, that's it for setting up the RAG database, the search API. Now let's integrate the whole AI part to this. And for that, I'm going to switch over to DrupalHelps, where I have some obviously real world data. All right, so at DrupalHelps.com, I have the server set up to use the Drupal search Pinecone database. If I click edit here, again, nothing fancy here. This is exactly what we just set up over on our training site where we have no data. You can see the database name, the namespace, and more. On this particular site, I'm indexing content and content blocks and taxonomy terms. I went ahead and added the fields for all of those, connected it to the Drupal search server, and away we go. All right. So now that you've got some context, let's take a look and see what we can do. I'm going to go to Configuration, AI, click on AI Assistance. And this is the key thing. I need an assistant that is going to find articles for me. This is the article finder assistant that I created manually. And here are the instructions. You can pause the video to check them out. One of the things I'm finding frustrating at this point, and I'm still playing with this a little bit, hallucinations are rampant. When I tell it to not make up links to pages that don't exist, it still does it every once in a while. I'm still working on that. This is like pretty new. So I say it multiple times. Don't make up links to pages that don't exist. Only provide links to existing nodes and make each link clickable. In the background, test the link to make sure it works. If you get a 404 error, do not print the link in the answer. For instance, what's the starter site? Provide the link. There it is. And make sure every link is an actual link to the page. Again, do not make up links. Yeah. How many times do you have to tell it that? It still does it every once in a while, not as often as it used to. There are no agents here because we're not using any of the agents that come with Drupal AI out of the box. But we did enable a RAG. Well, and this is where we connect everything together. So I've enabled the RAG. It's called Content Search, which is the one I set up for the site. I've got a 0.3 threshold with a maximum of 5 results. And the AI provider is OpenAI. Under the configuration, I'm using ChatGPT 4.1. I find that to be a little bit better than 3.5. The temperature is 0.1. I want factual results, not creative results. And again, the rest is pretty standard. There is so much I'm not unpacking here. This is an intro class. Just kind of take my word for it. These are the most important things. I'm going to click Save. All right, so we've added a new assistant, which is part of Drupal AI. And now we connect a chatbot to that assistant on the public-facing website. So, structure, block layout, and on my theme that I'm using, which is the excellent theme from DXPR. I absolutely love this theme. Down here, I have Ask Me a Question. Let's take a look at this. So, this is the AI Deep Chat chatbot. That's the one you want to use, not the other one. I'm telling it to use the Article Finder AI Assistant that we just set up. I've added a message. I've added the bot name DH for DrupalHelps. I'm ignoring the default username because this is for anonymous users. Under styling, I'm using Bard. And I'm putting it at the bottom right, which is better for site visitors who are not logged in. And then under the advanced settings, the toggle state is closed. And I've turned off verbose mode. I don't want everybody seeing all the stuff that's going on in the background. I've not restricted this block at all. And I've placed it in the footer region, but that doesn't matter because you could put it in any region. There is one last thing to make this work for anonymous users. And of course, that's under permissions. Now, why would this need permissions? Well, up until this latest release, this didn't even work for anonymous users because of the sessions and the way that the chatbot integrated with sessions in order to keep track. Well, they fixed that, they changed it, but now there's a permission setting. So, people, permissions, and let's search by deep because that's the name of our chatbot. Access Deep Chat API. You must enable it for the anonymous user. Otherwise, they'll get a cryptic error message and you will have no idea what that means. All right, let's take a look. So head back over to my website. Here's my chatbot. And do you offer site builder training? This is a little bit different than the question I asked before. Now, the time that it's taking here, I'm not sure if that's because of the free version. I'm guessing it is. Yes, Drupal Site Building Advanced Training is a comprehensive 3-day course. It is available here at this link. There's also developer immersion training. If I click the link, it's going to take me to the Drupal Site Building Advanced Training, which is our 3-day advanced training for site builders that does include a whole big section on AI. If you're interested, come on over to DrupalHelps.com. All right, so that was a ton of work. And it takes a lot to set this up, but wow, it's pretty darn cool. So having a chatbot that has search enabled, that can give answers to people, anonymous users on your site might be something you're interested in. Now, I will say that other companies have done some pretty amazing things in this area. Let me highlight just one. If you are a government agency, Civic AI Navigator is really amazing. Now, you don't have to be a government agency to use it, but what it is basically is a closed, protected, and private LLM chat bot for your Drupal website. Actually, it can go on any website. But the people behind it are Drupal experts. They really know what they're doing. Now, it is not free. In fact, they don't even provide pricing here on their page, which to me, as a person, typically means I can't afford it. But I've seen the demo. Oh, wow, it's amazing. If you are interested in a very high level search chatbot on your Drupal website, these are the people you want to talk to. Tell them Rod sent you. I don't get any kickbacks. I'm not sponsored. All right. So that's chat in a search. Fantastic stuff. Takes a little bit of work, but can really enhance your Drupal website.